Let's be real. Most people's lives are on autopilot, ruled by their emotions. One text ruins their mood. One argument ruins their week. But here's the truth. If you can master your emotions, you can master your life. And in this audiobook, I'm going to show you how to flip that switch for good. I had this buddy back in college, Mike. Sharp as a tack. Could ace any exam. But man, his emotions, out of control. One bad comment from professor, and he'd go nuclear. One breakup, and he'd disappear for weeks. Fast forward to today. Mike's still stuck in the same cycle, while the people who kept their cool are out there living the dream. That's the cold reality. In America, it's not the smartest who win. It's the ones who keep their emotions in check. Alright, let's kick this off with something real. Every single one of us has had that day where one little thing, a text, an email, a rude comment, whatever, completely hijacks our mood. You start the day fine, but boom, suddenly you're irritated, distracted, maybe even angry. And before you know it, the whole day's gone to waste. Sound familiar? Yeah, because it's human. But here's the thing nobody ever told you. Your emotions don't have to be the boss. You do. That's what this audiobook is all about. Unlocking the power of emotional control. And I don't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending you're some kind of robot. No, I'm talking about mastering your emotions so they work for you instead of against you. When you learn to control your emotions, here's what happens. You stop letting other people push your buttons. You stop sabotaging yourself with fear or doubt. You start making better choices in love, money, health, everything. Chapter 1. Why emotional control is everything. Here's a crazy truth. In school we got math, science, history, but nobody taught us the subject that actually runs our lives. Emotions. Think about it. The biggest decisions you've made weren't logical spreadsheets. You didn't fall in love because you ran the numbers. You didn't quit your job because of an Excel formula. You did it because of how you felt. And that's the secret. Emotions drive everything. They can build your future or they can burn to the ground. Let me give you a story. Back in college, I had this buddy named Mike. Smart dude. He could ace tests, impress professors. He had all the talent. But here's the problem. Mike's emotions? A total mess. One professor criticized his work. Boom, meltdown. One girl rejected him, weeks of depression. Fast forward a few years, Mike's stuck in the same cycle. Meanwhile, people with half his brains are out there building businesses, living happy lives. Why? Because they control themselves. And Mike didn't. That's life in America today. It's not the smartest who win. It's not even the hardest workers. It's the ones who master emotional control. Now here's the good news. Emotional control is a skill, which means you can learn it. You can train it. And if you stick with me, I'm going to show you exactly how. Emotions are like fire. Cook your food or burn your house down. The choice is yours. Stress? That's just energy with no direction. Aim it right, and it becomes hustle fuel. Anger? It can destroy you, or it can drive you harder than anything else. Sadness? It can break you, or deepen your wisdom and empathy. Chapter 2. How to rewire your brain for emotional control. Alright, so you get it now. Emotional control is a foundation. But here's the question everyone asks. Okay, but how? How do I actually control my emotions when they hit me like a freight train? And that's where most people mess up. They think emotional control means suppressing feelings. Like, just push them down, lock them away, pretend they're not there. Nope, that doesn't work. You try to bury emotions. They come back louder, nastier, and twice as destructive. So what's a real move? You gotta rewire your brain. Here's the deal. Your brain is like a muscle, and emotions, they're habits. Think about it. If you spent years reacting with anger every time you get criticized, your brain has wired itself to do that automatically. Same with fear, jealousy, stress. It becomes your default setting. But here's the good news. Brains are reprogrammable. Scientists call it neuroplasticity, but in plain English, it just means this. You can teach your brain new tricks. You can literally rewire how you respond to life. Your brain isn't broken, it's programmable. Every pause is a power move. Rewiring doesn't make you less emotional, it makes you unstoppable. Control the trigger and you control the outcome. Chapter 3. Turning negative emotions into fuel. Alright, let's get real for a second. We all deal with negative emotions. Anger, fear, stress, jealousy. They're universal. Doesn't matter if you're rich or broke, young or old, living in New York or small-town America, nobody escapes them. But here's the secret. Negative emotions aren't bad. They're signals. They're raw energy. And if you know how to use them, they can actually become your superpower. Most people, they let emotions wreck their lives. But high performers, they flip the script. That's what we're about to do. Anger drive. Let's start with anger. Most people blow up when they're angry, yelling, fighting, quitting, doing dumb stuff they regret later. But here's the truth. Anger is just energy. It's your brain saying, something's wrong. Fix it. The trick isn't to suppress anger, it's to redirect it. Example? Think of athletes. Michael Jordan used anger as rocket fuel. Every insult, every doubt, every loss, he turned it into drive. He didn't punch walls. He didn't burn bridges. He went to the gym, the court, the grind at SO. Next time you're mad, don't explode. Don't sulk. Take that heat and put it into your work, your fitness, your goals. Let anger be your engine, not your enemy. Fear focus. Now let's talk fear. Fear paralyzes most people. They freeze up, avoid risks, and never chase what they want. But fear has another side. Fear sharpens your senses. It wakes you up. It makes you alert. Think about firefighters running into burning buildings. They feel fear, of course. But instead of letting it freeze them, they use it to stay sharp, focused, and alive. So when you feel fear, don't ask, how do I get rid of this? Ask, what is this fear trying to prepare me for? That mindset shift turns fear into focus. Stress strategy. Stress, the American epidemic. Bills, deadlines, relationships, health, stress is everywhere. And for most people, it crushes them. But stress at its core is just pressure. And pressure creates diamonds. The key is to channel stress into strategy. Instead of saying, I'm stressed, I can't handle this, flip it to, I'm stressed, so let me make a plan. Write it down. Break it into steps. Attack it one piece at a time. That's how stress goes from an anchor to a launch pad. Jealousy inspiration. Now let's talk about the sneakiest emotion, jealousy. Social media makes this one brutal. You scroll. You see somebody with a car, the house, the body, the lifestyle you want, and instantly you feel less than. But here's the truth. Jealousy is just pointing you toward what you actually want. It's a compass. It shows you the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That SO. Don't hate. Don't stew. Use it. Let jealousy inspire you. If someone else has it, that means it's possible. Instead of being bitter, get better. Say, if they can do it, why not me? Anger can burn bridges or build empires. You choose. Fear can paralyze you or sharpen you. Depends how you play it. Stress breaks the weak and sharpens the strong. Jealousy isn't poison. It's a signal. Follow it. Chapter 4. Daily habits to build emotional control. Alright, let's be honest. Listening to motivational stuff is great. But if you don't back it up with daily habits, nothing changes. You can't just hear this audiobook, nod your head, and expect your emotions to magically obey you. Nope. Emotional control is like a muscle, and muscles only grow with daily reps. That S-O in this chapter. I'm giving you the exact daily habits that'll rewire your brain. Steady your emotions and make self-control your new normal. Habit 1. The morning reset. First habit, own your mornings. Here's the truth. The first 30 minutes of your day set the emotional tone for the rest of it. If you wake up and instantly grab your phone, scroll social media, or check emails, you're already letting other people's noise control your mood. Instead, flip it. Wake up and reset yourself before the world gets to you. That could be breathing exercises, gratitude journaling, a quick workout, or even just sitting with your coffee in silence. Whatever it is, make those first 30 minutes yours. When you own your morning, you own your emotions. Habit 2, the pause button. Second habit, practice the pause that we talked earlier about catching triggers. Well, this is where you train it daily. Anytime something ticks you off, traffic, rude people, stress at work, practice hitting that mental pause button. Take one deep breath. Count to 3. Boom! You've just interrupted your old programming. Do this enough times, and it becomes automatic. Habit 3. Move your body. Third habit, move. Emotions live in the body. That's why when you're stressed, your shoulders tighten. When you're sad, you slump. When you're confident, you stand tall. S-O if your emotions feel out of control. Move your body. Go for a run, hit the gym, stretch, dance. I don't care what it is. Motion creates emotion. Get that blood flowing and watch your mindset shift instantly. Habit 4. Reframe the story. Fourth habit, reframe everything. Here's the thing. Emotions don't come from events. They come from the story you tell yourself about those events. Example, you're stuck in traffic. Story 1. This sucks. My whole day's ruined. Emotion? Anger. Story 2. Hey, extra time to listen to a podcast or this audiobook. Emotion? Calm. Same event, different story, totally different emotion. Every day, ask yourself, what's another way I could see this? That's reframing, and it's a superpower. Habit 5. The night detox. Fifth habit, detox your nights. So many people go to bed scrolling social media, watching drama, or stressing about tomorrow. Then they wonder why they wake up anxious. Instead, build a nightly wind-down routine. No screens for 30 minutes. Read something positive. Reflect on what went right in your day. Write down your plan for tomorrow so your brain doesn't race all night. When you close the day strong, you open the next one even stronger. Habits beat willpower every single time. If you in the morning, you in the day. One pause can save a relationship, a career, even your sanity. Motion creates emotion. So move your body if you want to move your mind. Your story shapes your state. Change the story, change the feeling. Chapter 5. Mastering emotional control in relationships. Alright, let's be real. If there's one area in life that tests your emotions more than anything, it's relationships. Romantic relationships, friendships, family drama, work relationships. Heck, even dealing with strangers at the grocery store. People push our buttons in ways nothing else can. And if you don't have emotional control, relationships will eat you alive. But here's the good news. If you do master it, your relationships become smoother, stronger, and way less draining. I had a buddy named Chris. Great guy. But man, his girlfriend knew exactly how to push his buttons. One little comment, and boom, he'd explode. It wasn't even about her, really. It was about him not having control over his emotions. Fast forward a year, they broke up. Why? Not because of love, but because of emotional chaos. Here's the lesson. It's not the problem that destroys relationships. It's how you handle the problem. Respond, don't react. Here's the first rule of emotional control in relationships. Respond, don't react. Reactions are instant, automatic, usually ugly. Responses? They're chosen, they're intentional, and they save relationships. Example, someone snaps at you. Reaction? Snap back, escalate, fight. Response? Pause, breathe. Say, I hear you, but let's talk this out. That little shift keeps things from blowing up. Romantic relationships. In love, emotions run the deepest. That's why emotional control is non-negotiable. Your partner forgets something important? Instead of screaming, respond with calm honesty. Your partner criticizes you? Instead of getting defensive, listen first. Then respond with clarity. Emotional control doesn't kill passion. It protects it. Because passion without control, that's a wildfire. Passion with control, that's a warm, steady flame. Friendships, family. Let's talk family. You know the deal. Nobody can trigger you like family. One Thanksgiving dinner and boom, you're 12 years old again. Here's where reframing comes in. Instead of thinking, they always do this to me, think, this is who they are and I choose how I respond. You can't control Uncle Bob's politics, but you can control your reaction to it. Same with friends. If a friend disappoints you, don't ghost them in anger. Respond with honesty. Hey man, that hurt. Let's talk. Emotional control builds bridges instead of burning them. Workplace relationships. And then there's work. Bosses, co-workers, customers. The perfect storm for emotional chaos. Here's the move. Emotional detachment. Not coldness, detachment. Don't take everything personal. Someone snaps? It's about them, not you. Someone criticizes? Cool. Take the useful part, leave the rest. The person who can stay calm under pressure at work, they rise. They get promoted. They earn respect. Emotional control is the real edge in the workplace. Don't let people rent space in your head for free. Passion without control burns everything. With control, it builds everything. Family triggers are old wounds. Don't let them reopen. At work, the calmest person in the room is usually the one in charge. Chapter 6. Emotional control in money and career. Money, career. Success that, let's be honest, nothing in America gets people more stressed, more emotional, or more fired up than money. You know that feeling when you check your bank account and your stomach drops? Or when you're at work and your boss talks down to you and you feel that heat rising in your chest? Yeah, money and career can bring out the worst in us. But here's the thing. If you can control your emotions in these areas, you win. Period. Because most people don't. Most people react. They panic. They self-sabotage. And that's exactly why emotional control is the biggest financial and career advantage you'll ever have. Story. The panic purchase. I'll never forget this one guy I knew back in college. Let's call him Mike. Mike got his first real paycheck. He was hyped. Instead of saving it, he blew it on a flat-screen TV, new sneakers, and a weekend trip to Vegas. Guess what happened when rent came due? He was broke. Not because he didn't make money, but because he couldn't control his emotions around money. Money decisions are emotional decisions. That's why stores play music. Why salespeople push urgency. Why we get sucked into impulse buys. Emotional control is what keeps you from being broke, stressed, or stuck. Delay the reaction. Delay the regret. When it comes to money, delay is your friend. Don't make decisions in emotional heat. Excited? Don't spend yet. Angry? Don't quit your job yet. Anxious? Don't invest in some random crypto scam. Pause. Breathe. Think. Because every bad money move usually came from an emotional snap decision. People say money is about math. Wrong. Money is about emotions. The math is easy. It's the emotions that are hard. Workplace emotions. Now let's talk career. Work is a jungle of emotions. Your boss criticizes you unfairly? Boom, anger. Your coworker gets promoted before you? Boom, jealousy. Your company downsizes? Boom, panic. But here's the move. Emotional control makes you untouchable. Instead of anger, you show calm professionalism. Instead of jealousy, you use it as fuel to sharpen your skills. Instead of panic, you focus on solutions. That's why the calmest person in the office often ends up leading the office. Emotional control is leadership. Money doesn't disappear. It transfers from the emotional to controlled. You don't need more money. You need more control over the money you have. In the workplace, emotion makes noise. Control makes progress. Broke isn't a bank account. Broke is an emotional habit. Story. The calm negotiator. Here's another one. A woman I knew, Sarah, worked in sales. She wanted a raise, but instead of begging or complaining, she came in with receipts. Calm, confident, professional. She said, "Here's the value I bring, here's the results, and here's why I deserve more." Her boss was blown away. Why? Because most people come emotional, either desperate or angry. Sarah came in controlled. Guess who walked out with a raise? Yeah, Sarah. Look, I get it. Bills pile up. Inflation's real. Gas prices make you want to scream. And that stress? It's heavy. But here's the truth. Stressing doesn't pay the bills. Control does. Instead of panicking, ask, what's my next best move? Emotional control shifts you from victim to strategist. And in America, where money stress is everywhere, being a calm strategist puts you ahead of 90% of people. All right, before we close this out, I want you to remember something. Emotional control isn't just some self-help buzzword. It's the secret weapon of every successful, unshakable, unstoppable person you admire. When you control your emotions, you control your future. You stop living on autopilot. You stop being yanked around by anger, fear, stress, or doubt. You finally start steering your own ship. And listen, if this audiobook sparked something in you, if you felt even a glimpse of how much stronger, calmer, and freer you could be, then this is your sign. Don't let this be the last step. Hit that subscribe button right now, join this family, and lock in with me. Because this channel, this is where we grow together, where we rise together, and where we learn to live life on our terms, not our emotions' terms. And so I'll leave you with this. The storm will always be there. The question is, are you going to let it toss you around, or are you going to take the wheel? Your future self is waiting. Let's go claim it. Together,